Hey y'all, it's Nancy, the Handy Scandy, here for Whimsy Stamps. Thanks for joining me today. Doing something a little bit different today. I'm going to be working in my art journal. I've not done that in a while, and I don't know the last time that I did an art journal page for Whimsy. So this one is, well, I started to say it's different, but you know what? Every art journal page is. So, Department of Redundancy department. You can see that I have my small little brayer. It is a hard rubber brayer, and I am just taking a couple different archival ink pads in different colors. I've got a green, a yellow, and a brown, and I'm just randomly brayering the color over the page. And this is just to lay down some color at random, obviously, and just to get it started. You can see that there were a couple of strokes already down. When I'm playing with my gel plate print, I will often use my art journals as brayer off pages. That helps me in terms of when I'm going to work in my art journal, because if the page is blank, I don't typically have fear of the blank page, if you will, but sometimes I do. So if I already have some kind of stroke down or some kind of color, then it's not the blank page. And so I can always paint over what I've already got, gesso over it, brayer over it, whatever the case might be. So in this particular case, since I was just starting with the ink just to have a base of random color, it worked perfectly. So I just added to it. And so here you can see that I'm taking strips of paper. This is from, let me tell you the name. I think it's the Farmhouse paper pad, which I have a couple different packs of because I think it's so gorgeous. Yes, Farmhouse 6x6 paper pad. You can see that I have the daisies, and I have the green chippy wood, and I also have just some brown that I'm adding to it. So at this stage, I'm laying it all down with some gesso. Now, gesso is not an adhesive, though it can adhere, if that makes sense. Its purpose is not to adhere, but that's how I'm using it in this case. But I also wanted to push it to the background. I wanted to push that ink layer to the background. I wanted these strips of paper to be textural, to have a faint image, if you will, but I did not want them, bright, bold, and up front. So that's why I'm using the gesso. And then I turned my camera off, but in between, I actually laid some more strips of the paper, some more chunks and torn off edges, and laid it down with an adhesive. I used an acrylic medium, and it worked perfectly. So I was just showing you there what I had done. And then I took the 6x6 brick stencil and I layered on the whole page crackle paste through that brick stencil. So now I have essentially a brick wall, an external brick wall, kind of. When I put it together, you'll see that I kind of have two externals, which, whatever, that probably makes zero sense right now, but it will in the end. So here I have this die, and I have cut out several pieces. It's the arched window die, and I cut out some. The two on the left are a wood grain that were in the Farmhouse pattern paper. These beigey ones that I'm gluing together now to create shaker wells, those are just a very inexpensive, not great quality watercolor card. And I often will use that cardstock just for layers of things, and that's exactly what I've done here. And then I'm taking some of my acrylics. It's A2 sized acrylic from This Calls for Confetti. And I pulled off the protective sheet, and then I just laid it down to the back of the wood grain framed window, or window frame. And then that will be the front of my shaker well. And I adhere the whole thing together. And now I have two of them. And here I have taken the wild weeds dies, and I've cut out several different shapes. I have the ivy, I have the flowers, and then what that middle one is, I don't know, some kind of a wild grass? I don't know. But anyway, I have them laid out on my silicone mat, and I am using spray stains and mica stains, and I have some ink spray by Dilutions that I use as well. I also have some fireworks sprays by Imagine. So I just kind of pulled out all of my inky sprays and just found the colors that I wanted and laid down the color on those. And so here is my background so far. If you zoom in, you can see all that beautiful crackle. But in my mind, the chunks, if you will, the chunks of paper are too obvious. So I'm coming in with some more ink, and I'm just kind of laying it down in different places, just using the end of the nozzle and then spraying it to kind of spread it. And again, I'm using all of the colors. I've got this brown. I think the one that I'm using here is Melted Chocolate from Dilutions. It may also be Vintage Photo. I don't think I come in with Vintage Photo though until, I think right there, that was Vintage Photo. And then I also have, oh my gosh, I have Bundled Sage, I have Antique Linen. I even come in with a little bit of Twisted Citron. I have Iced Spruce. So a variety of different colors, but they come out to create this what looks like a mottled mess. And to be fair, all those chunks in the background are more obvious now than they were before I laid the ink down. But we are going to fix it. We're going to make it work. And here I have used the wings and the heart from the Gothic Die Set. I've cut the wings out of vellum, and the heart are cut out of the same wood as the frame. And then I used, oh, what is this pattern paper? I used so many different products today, y'all. This paper is from the, I think it's the Busy Bees. So I don't have two of the same sky background, but ultimately I don't care. It doesn't bother me that they're not the same. So the one on the left I did, well, this one in my hand, obviously, I make into a shaker card. And it makes sense to me because this is the one that I'm going to start with by adding flowers. The other one, I wasn't sure that I was going to add flowers to it. But I love that it has the shaker bit. And when I talk about two externals, right, I have the external wall. But when you look out the windows, you're also looking outside. So it is what it is. It is what it is. So here I have some cheesecloth. It's just from the grocery store, and I've trimmed it down, grunged it up, glued it down a little bit, and now I have some twigs. These are from my back deck, actually. I had some asparagus ferns last year, and they are dead. But I just pulled off a couple of twiggy branches and brought them in to add to the page. And then I just am gluing things down, kind of random, kind of not, just wherever it pleases my eye in the moment. And this is going to be a project for my Miss You in May hashtag. So if you'll notice, the wings in the window on the left are vellum, and again in the sky. So in my mind, that's representing someone who has passed. And the hearts, the layered hearts, just represent love, again in my mind. So I added that little piece of the wood grain pattern paper below the window to be kind of a windowsill, and then I'm just continuing to add all of the different flowers and the ivy and kind of that wild grass, and just adding them randomly wherever it pleases my eye. And this is just my process, moving things around, gluing them down. And like I said, this is a very poor quality watercolor card, so it's very flimsy. But you know, the less amount of time I have it in my hand and the quicker I can get it glued down to the art journal, the better. So I keep closing my art journal because I'm looking for more of the double side or the reverse tweezers, but I only have 3 pair. I need some more. So here I pulled out my glue gun, and I just wanted to finish that edge with some fun trim. Obviously it's a neutral, it's a jute. I wanted it to be a neutral. I just wanted a clean edge, and I may go back and add some to the top as well because that's pretty messy up at the top. So I may go back, but here we have it. And you can see I added the word Miss You, and that is, those letters are cut out of the bold ABC dies with that same poor quality watercolor card, and then I just added some spray. It's antique linen, and that's how I colored them, and that just mixes in perfect. And the little shaker bits that I put in the window on the right are they're the teeny tiny white confetti from This Calls for Confetti, and I think it turned out beautiful. There were several times in this process when I was ready to throw in the towel and start over. But I'm glad I finished. And there's kind of a close-up on those vellum wings you can see. And if you don't know, I lost my youngest daughter a couple years ago to a car crash. And that's what prompted the Miss You in May, the hashtag Miss You in May, because she was born in May. And yeah, so celebrating her birthday is hard, and I just always miss her. So join me in celebrating the hashtag Miss You in May. Tell me about the ones that you've loved and lost, or if it's a pet or a place that you miss, whatever it is you might miss, let me know. Either join me in the hashtag or just tell me in the comments downstairs. But until next time, guys, this is Nancy, the Handy Scandy for Whimsy Stamps. Mwah! And I'm out.